Hello out there, everyone. Today we're going to take a quick look at this Criterion Blu-ray release of Silence of the Lambs, Jonathan Demme picture, released in 1991, and of course starring Anthony Hopkins, Jodie Foster, and Scott Glenn, and Ted Levine in the baddie role. And of course, this movie has got a lot going for it. It was a big winner on Oscars night, and rightfully so. I think this is a movie not unlike No Country for Old Men that is just pretty much near perfect. There are a few things that I think don't sit as well circa 2023 as they did when it was released, but I think even when it was released, it was not without a little controversy, especially given its some of its more lurid decisions, and also its choice to depict someone who ostensibly was a trans person as the killer. And I think they touch on why it shouldn't be, that people think trans people have that proclivity. They make a very important point in the film to dismiss that notion, but it's still there. But I will concede that this film, as far as the narrative and the acting and the suspense and tension are just really beyond reproach. It's a movie that just buzzes along and has a terrific finale that's filled with just some of the most nail-biting suspense that I've seen in the film, and I think that's largely a credit to, of course, the writer, the screenwriter, and the director, because I've rarely seen a film do a better job at unfurling itself than Silence of the Lambs. Now, this Blu-ray by Criterion is based on a 4K original camera negative scan overseen by Tak Fujimoto, I believe, the DP, and it looks great. There are a couple moments where the grain is a little heavy and then it seems to dissipate, and interestingly enough, I happened to also pick up a couple of times where the camera was a little shaky, which surprised me because I think Tak Fujimoto is one of those really good DPs, and I don't know if it was just the person holding the camera or what, but I did pick up on that on this viewing. This is a movie that I watch probably at least one or two times every 5 years or so. It's just a film that I enjoy going back to, and while it's difficult to watch at times because of its sort of gore and subject matter, I just again think it's just an excellent example of how to make a movie and keep things completely moving along and exciting and fresh. So the Criterion release, it has this digibook packaging, which is nice, although the cardboard stock is a little flimsy. It also features, a little booklet, which is pretty interesting. It has a ton of special features that I think are absolutely worth a watch, including a backstory about how, of all people, Gene Hackman was involved with the production of this film early on and eventually bowed out. And he was at one time perhaps going to be playing the Jack Crawford character. I've read that he might have even been cast as Hannibal Lecter. I think Hackman's a terrific actor, but I'm actually glad that they ended up with the people they did, because I can't think of anyone better than Anthony Hopkins. And that's no disrespect to the people who have played him in other films or mediums. I think the Mads Mikkelsen actor who depicts him in the show is terrific, just as is Brian Cox in the underrated and I would argue underseen Manhunter, Michael Mann movie. But I think that really, all things being equal, Anthony Hopkins just completely owns this role and is, I would argue, the best Lecter of the bunch. But again, I think the movie is terrific. Criterion's release is very solid. There is a 4K release that's out there now that I've heard is perhaps a little better still. It's, I believe, still based on the same scan. It's just put on the 4K Blu-ray disc. But I don't feel the need to go out and upgrade, just because I think that this is this is good enough, and certainly the special features alone are worth considering just getting this as opposed to the Kino Lorber release. But I'm sure many out there who love this film probably have both, at least the collectors out there. So on that note, please do take care out there, everyone. Please stay safe, be kind, and by all means, keep watching good cinema.